What's your name and what do you do? And how long have you been doing that? How much are you making with your side hustle and how do you like it?
I don't like Doordash. I don't recommend Doordash.
What are some of your biggest expenses associated with driving? What tips or advice would you give that person?
If you have a community that has a lot of restaurants and you're known in that community, your best bet is just to stay in that community because the people are gonna appreciate you delivering their food.
What's going on, guys? Sean here, and today I'm in my apartment's lobby because, listen, I believe anyone can make 6 figures a year in income as long as they have the right side hustles. And I have been super curious to know what drivers like DoorDashers and Uber Eats drivers actually make. So today what I'll be doing is stopping them after they're done making their delivery to ask them questions like how long they've been doing it, how much money they make, and any tips they have for people who want to get started. Let's get into it. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Marley. I'm from Michigan and I just Instacart on the side and do Uber Eats on the side. But my main profession is music and engineering and producing.
My name is Whitney and I deliver for DoorDash and Uber Eats.
My name is Jazz and I deliver for Uber Eats.
And how long have you been doing it?
DoorDash, probably 3 months.
Probably for like a year now.
And how do you like it?
I don't like Doordash. I don't recommend Doordash.
Yeah, I would recommend it. You get to work on your own time, you know what I mean? No boss, you know, get to work as long as you want. And the extra money is pretty good.
How much are you making with your side hustle?
On Uber Eats, I'd say about anywhere from 1,000 to 700 a week. With Instacart, it'll be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000. It just depends how much I'm out there.
I'll say probably like extra $500 weekly on top of my regular job.
I would say probably $700 to $800. It really depends on how hard you hit it. I feel like the best money is made at night and the traffic is clear.
What tips or advice would you give someone who wants to start doing DoorDash or Uber Eats as a side hustle?
Just start early and just work out here in the city. Out here in the city it's fast paced, so you'll get a lot of orders out here.
Just make sure you have a really reliable vehicle and you have time available.
Make sure you keep gas in your car and honestly make sure you have a weapon as well. I believe in protecting yourself at all times. Don't let these customers get to you because people have silly ideas in their head, especially when you're delivering.
So things started off very smoothly. I interviewed the first 3 drivers within like 20 minutes of me being in the lobby. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna be a very easy and smooth video. But then the lobby turned into a ghost town and I didn't see any drivers for at least 2 hours. So I started losing some confidence and thinking that maybe I should just kill this video idea, but I stuck with it. So if you appreciate the time and effort I spend on trying to find people to interview, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. And thankfully my patience paid off because next we ran into a very successful driver. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Ivan and I'm a DoorDash driver.
And how long have you been doing that?
Probably about like 7-8 months now.
And how do you like it?
It's not what I thought it would be, you know what I'm saying? They have some flaws in them that they need to get, fixed, and it needs to be fixed immediately because we're losing. Us dashers, we're basically giving the short end of the stick, you know what I'm saying? So they got like this thing where if you don't accept a $2 trip, your acceptance rating goes down. That affects your next trip, your next pay, you know what I'm saying? So they need to fix that because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dashers out there that don't want to be doing 3-mile deliveries for just $2 when not even a gallon of gasoline costs $2, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out what's the best carrier app out there right now, but as far as like DoorDash, I'm really like skeptical about it.
You were telling me before we turned the camera on that you used to drive for Uber as well.
Uber, yeah.
Yeah. What was your experience like with Uber?
Oh, Uber in New York was amazing, and I made over a good 120,000. I was bringing in about 2,500 to 3,000 a week. No days off, Monday through Sunday. And I was working, majority of the time I was working from home because I have the McDonald's next to my building in New York City. Yeah. So it was more of a being home, picking up the food, dropping it off. And the majority of the time I was dropping it off to people in my community. So it's like everybody knows me in my community, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh crap, Ivan, good to see you, bro. Thank you for bringing my food. Here's an extra 5, here's an extra 10. You know what I'm saying? So which that helped a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I always kept the delivery just 1 mile in my radius. I never went outside of 1 mile. So I was always completing on a daily 25 to 30 trips consistently in New York City. I was coming home with like 3,000 a week. So I was coming home with like 8 to 10,000 a month. But then I got banned they banned me. They said I was scamming, they said that I did an excessive amount of trips in a matter of 6 months, which I don't really understand that because I was just really working hard. I was going in at 10, 11 in the morning and coming home by 12 midnight because that's around the time the McDonald's closed in my area. So I had the whole entire day to just be working and getting it in. But ever since that, I just been going downhill with the carrier apps because I haven't had that type of success like I had in New York City with Uber.
Have you tried to appeal the ban at all from Uber, and have they responded back to you at all?
Yeah, I tried to appeal the ban, and they told me that they was final with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, which that really hurt because I know Uber is where it's at.
If someone's thinking right now, like, what should I do? Should I do Uber, Doordash, Uber Eats? There's all these different carriers out there. Which ones would you recommend, and maybe what tips would you have for that person?
Uber would be the best to go to right now. They have 401k plans. They have tuitions. They have a lot of side gigs besides the Uber that you can apply for. Right. They even have like this web decoding program that you can go and Uber pays for it for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of programs outside of Uber that helps you to become one of their technicians for the company, which DoorDash don't do that, Grubhub don't do that. Uber's the only one that's doing that, and that's why I tell everybody, just your best bet, just stick with Uber.
If somebody wants to hustle like you, make money like you, $120,000 from Uber, what tips or advice would you give that person?
General tips, the main important thing is if you have a community that has a lot of restaurants and you're known in that community, your best bet is just to stay in that community because the people are going to appreciate you delivering their food because they know that their food is always going to be in good hands because they personally know you and they have a relationship with you outside of Uber. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest tips that I always tell everybody. If you have a community that has multiple restaurants, you stay in that community. Do not leave because that's going to benefit you in the long run where you now have the store owners knowing you, community knows you. So it's just a win-win situation.
All right, now let's talk about some key takeaways that I've gathered after talking to some of these drivers. So takeaway number one is that most drivers on average are reporting to make about an extra $1,000 per week as a side hustle, which is actually pretty good considering that most of them aren't working a lot of hours, although we did run into one driver who was making $2,500 to $3,000 per week, but he was working full time. So that's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two is you can make some good money without working a lot of hours. In fact, one driver reported that she likes to work at night because traffic is slow so she can get to her destinations faster and there's less people willing to work at night so she's able to make more money. So that's takeaway number two. Takeaway number three is you have to be safe. Making deliveries at night or really at any time in the day can be dangerous, so you have to make sure you protect yourself. Maybe you have some type of item of protection, and also make sure you maintain a level head and a good temperament. So that's takeaway number three. And takeaway number four is you have to maintain a good acceptance rate, because if you're not accepting orders, then you won't be selected as a driver, and that's going to directly impact your income. So you want to stay on top of accepting orders. You want to stay on top of delivering great customer service so you stay getting picked up and you continue to make good income. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to another driver and hear about their experience making deliveries as a side hustle. What's your name and what do you do?
Jake and Scott, and I do Uber Eats.
My name is Kevin Cheek, and I'm an actor.
And you also DoorDash, right?
Yes, I do DoorDash.
Hi, my name is Zach, and I do Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Lyft.
My name is Johnny Henderson. I drive for Uber.
And how long have you been doing that?
7 years.
I've been doing it for about, 4 or 5 months now?
For about a year or two now.
Since April of this year.
So how do you like doing it?
I enjoy it. I made about $750. You work your own hours, you got your own time. It's definitely worth it.
Well, it's dangerous because of the environment, the people, the attitudes of people. It's just not as safe as it used to be.
How much money have you made so far?
I make about $1,200 a week, or depending on if I work about 12 hours a day, I can make about $1,600.
It does vary, and there is a learning curve, but when I'm in my right zone, I can make about $20 to $25 an hour.
Well, it depends on how many hours I work. Me personally, I probably do, about $500 or $600 a week because I don't do it that much.
I just started making more because I'm doing it now full time, so I guess anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a week.
What would you say are some of your biggest expenses with door dashing?
Gas.
Gas, definitely gas. Well, depending on the location, it could be tires, but most of the time it's gas.
Biggest expense comes down to just having the car, because I pay for a higher end car because eventually will wear down. So the payments itself is the most expensive thing.
If somebody wants to start becoming an Uber driver or delivering Uber Eats, what advice would you give them?
Know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you can't trust the GPS.
I guess my thing would be, if you want to do it full time, make sure you have an extra car, because eventually a repair will catch up to you. But doing it part time, it's a good little way to make money.
When you come out here and do this type of stuff, stay consistent. If you're looking for a job that's just gonna pay you like $20 an hour off of every order, then this is probably not the job for you.
I would say give it a week or so to figure out the system. And I would also suggest finding a neighborhood or an area of restaurants that are kind of upper echelon or better than just your fast food restaurants, because that equals better drop-offs, meaning safer neighborhoods and better money.
So we met some amazing drivers here in Atlanta, Georgia. We learned a lot together, like how much they make, their biggest expenses, and tips for anyone who wants to get started. So I hope this video was helpful. I've really been enjoying making these interview style videos, but I'd love to hear from you. Tell me down in the comment section below what you think. Coming up next, I have 2 more videos where I'm asking people different questions, so check those out if you haven't already, and I'll see you over there.